Comments, queries? No?
Okay.
Oh, Graham? First
So I've had through LinkedIn several approaches from CV writers.
Yep.
And they soon turn out to be scams, basically. How do you find a decent one? I don't mind spending the money, but I need to know that I'm getting something that's going to be working.
Okay. We get asked this a bit. It's a bit like finding a good financial planner.
What was the question?
Sorry, question was finding someone who can write your CV, because you get approached on LinkedIn with people, claiming to be CV writers or what have you, and a lot of them sometimes end up turning out to be scams and what have you too. And that's a problem for, as an example, for LinkedIn as well now. I have a theory. I go local first as a preference. I like to see the person, have them interview me and actually go through my background and expertise and what have you. There are a few companies in Perth that do it. Does Ruth still run CV Resuscitation or whatever it's called? Or CV? Yeah, okay. We have a couple of ex-work colleagues that did that. I'll dig up a couple that I know in and around the market, and again I'll send it through to James and the guys as some tips and resources. So if that's a path that you want to go down, not a problem at all. Question? Sorry, you have next.
Yes, you mentioned the 3 reasons for have a good relationship with a recruiter. I think you missed one, which is a future. If you have a good relationship with a good recruiter, today you are the candidate, but you can be the client of tomorrow. And that's an approach I've been working well with me.
Yeah, absolutely. I've known Jodie for many years. I used to have hair and it wasn't grey, so I've been around for a while now, and some of the clients that I did work with, I've placed their kids, and which is a bit scary, and they've now become candidates and clients, and I guess they call that kind of the circle of life, and that's absolutely important. I only work with 7 to 9 people now a week, and that's it. And typically they're people that I know I've worked with in the past, or people that have come referred to me from other people, and that's only just because obviously it's more just something been in the market for a long period of time, and that's just kind of how it all works. It's just it's what you know as a word from a trusted resource. So absolutely, that's one of the great advantages. Yep. Sorry. Next.
Glenn, you talked about having Facebook profiles, LinkedIn profile, Twitter, so that people could do further investigation on you.
Yep.
But I've noticed I've sat on some panels where people just don't have any of those profiles up there.
Yep.
So the question is it better that you actually start creating some of that so that people can see a bit more of you, a bit more of the real you?
Yep. Or
is it better that if you're not into it, leave it, and what I'm saying is, will it affect your chances of getting through to that interview?
Yeah, good. Did everyone hear that question, by the way? Yeah, great. It's a really interesting one, and it's quite topical because it covers off things like privacy. It covers off they can't do that, and that's not being objective in terms of their approach and what have you. You're absolutely right, but unfortunately that's human nature, and they'll bloody do it, right? On Facebook, I know people have got a different name as their Facebook persona, which is a bit confusing, and that's because same thing, they know depending on what occupation and those sorts of things that they're in. I know others, and I'd probably recommend on Facebook is you kind of lock it down to kind of friends and friends of friends, so it makes it hard to kind of do it. LinkedIn is probably from a business tool is probably the most important one to make sure that you absolutely get it right. And again, I could spend a lot of time talking you through, and maybe the guys will talk to you about it further tonight. But it's things like just make it obvious and easy for people to call you on your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you've got all the right content and what have you. So then when people are going through that assessment piece, you're away. If someone's also quite savvy, they'll be able to do Boolean searches, and they'll be able to find your digital footprint, which is another way they can do a check. And then finally, there's a couple of clients that I know that will actually hire a specific company that will do a thorough background check on people where they think that they're not being found or discovered, but in certain roles they'll pay the money to get a full profile and background on that person.
So is it a good thing, that's what I'm saying, is it
Oh.
good to have a Facebook profile just to make it look real?
Yeah, you can.
So-
Yeah, definitely. And you need to have that profile even for your own contacts and what have you too. So yeah, do so absolutely. And same thing with Twitter and the other accounts, because that's the other way that people are kind of social and interacting. And that's also a way from a career perspective that people find to get hold of you as well. So yeah, definitely have a good benefit, but just be socially smart, meaning that just be mindful about what you post on your Facebook account and on your Twitter account and those sorts of things, knowing full well that someone may check that out and have an interpretation of that.
Last question.
Yeah, last question, sorry.
Would you team up with just one recruiter, or would you have a few recruiters?
No, I'd have probably 3 to 5, maybe max. 3 is probably about the right number. 5 is probably any more than that's kind of getting a bit non-manageable. Again, it's like finding a good dentist or whatever. Meet with a couple, find a few that you like and kind of click with, etc. And then that way you can kind of build a bit of a relationship and those sorts of things with those people, and yeah, you're away. That's probably about right. Yeah, it's going to help you to find and find an opportunity where you're not just applying to a job on Seek, sending it out to the ether, and then kind of crossing your fingers and hoping that you're going to get a reply. Because like a lot of jobs don't get advertised on online job boards.